We've all been there, stuck in relationships that drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and make us question our worth. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but here's the truth. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-respect. The hardest part? Admitting that some people, no matter how much we care, don't deserve a front row seat in our lives. Today, we're cutting through the excuses, the guilt, and the fear. It's time to get real about toxic relationships and learn how to let go, not just to survive, but to thrive. Because the life you want, it doesn't have room for dead weight. Let's get into it. We've all been there, stuck in relationships that drain our energy, cloud our judgment, and make us question our worth. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but here's the truth. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of self-respect. The hardest part? Admitting that some people, no matter how much we care, don't deserve a front row seat in our lives. Today we're cutting through the excuses, the guilt, and the fear. It's time to get real about toxic relationships and learn how to let go, not just to survive, but to thrive. Because the life you want, it doesn't have room for dead weight. Let's get into it. The first step to letting go of toxic relationships is recognizing them. And I mean really recognizing them. Not just brushing off the red flags because it's easier to pretend they're not there. A toxic relationship isn't just about someone being mean, negative, or difficult. It's about a pattern of behavior that makes you feel small, powerless, or stuck. It's the friend who always undermines your confidence, the family member who guilts you into doing things that go against your boundaries, the partner who makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells. It's not a one-time thing. It's a cycle, and it's designed to keep you in it. And here's where it gets tricky. A lot of the time, we don't want to admit that a relationship is toxic because we're emotionally invested. We've spent years with this person. We've shared memories, secrets, laughter. Maybe they were once a huge source of comfort in our lives. Maybe we keep holding on to the hope that things will change. And that's exactly what keeps us trapped. The belief that if we just do more, give more, wait longer, things will be different. But let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting? How much more do you have to give before you realize it's never enough? Toxic relationships don't just drain you emotionally. They drain you mentally, physically, and even spiritually. They take up space in your mind, replaying conversations, making you question yourself, making you doubt your own reality. You find yourself over-explaining, over-apologizing, walking around with a constant sense of unease. It's exhausting, but here's the scariest part. It becomes normal. You get so used to the dysfunction that it feels like this is just the way things are. That's how toxicity works. It convinces you that you're the problem, that you're overreacting, that this is what relationships are supposed to be like. It's a lie. And the moment you see it for what it is, you take back your power. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if I love them? What if they mean well? What if they're just going through something? And I hear you. But love is not a reason to tolerate disrespect. Someone meaning well does not erase the fact that their behavior is harming you, and someone going through something does not give them a free pass to bring you down with them. At some point, you have to decide that your peace, your happiness, your sanity matter more than keeping a relationship that is slowly breaking you. So how do you actually let go? It starts with a decision. A firm, no going back decision that you are done allowing this person to take up space in your life in a way that hurts you. That means setting boundaries, real, unapologetic boundaries. If someone constantly belittles you, you stop engaging with them. If someone drains your energy with their negativity, you limit your exposure to them. If someone makes you feel guilty for putting yourself first, you stop explaining yourself. Boundaries are not about controlling someone else. They are about controlling what you allow in your life. And let me tell you, when you start enforcing them, people will react. Some will push back. Some will get angry. Some will try to guilt you into going back to the way things were. That's how you know you're doing the right thing. Because people who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always have a problem when you set them. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you're overreacting. They'll try to make you feel bad for protecting yourself. And that's where you have to remind yourself, you are not responsible for managing other people's emotions at the cost of your own well-being. You are not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. And let's talk about guilt for a second, because that's the number one thing that keeps people from walking away. We feel guilty for leaving, guilty for choosing ourselves, guilty for not being able to fix the other person. But guilt is a trap. It keeps you tied to people who have no problem hurting you. It makes you think you owe something to someone just because they've been in your life for a long time. But let me be clear, time does not equal loyalty. Just because someone has been in your life for years does not mean they deserve a place in your future. And here's the thing, letting go doesn't always mean a dramatic exit. It doesn't mean you have to scream, argue, or prove a point. Sometimes letting go is quiet, it's subtle, it's choosing not to respond to that text. It's not engaging in the same old argument. It's no longer trying to prove your worth to someone who refuses to see it. It's reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward people who actually appreciate and support you. And don't expect instant relief. Letting go of a toxic relationship comes with withdrawal. You might feel lost. You might miss them. You might even doubt your decision. But let me remind you, missing someone does not mean you made the wrong choice. It just means you're human. Change is uncomfortable, but staying in a toxic situation is even worse. And here's the final truth. When you finally walk away, when you finally release the weight of a relationship that has been dragging you down, you don't just get your peace back. You get your confidence back, your energy, your joy. You make room for relationships that actually nourish you instead of depleting you. You start attracting people who respect you, who celebrate you, who uplift you. Because when you finally decide to let go of toxicity, you don't just free yourself from them. You free yourself for you. And here's something nobody tells you about letting go. It's not just about removing a person from your life. It's about removing their influence from your mind. Toxic relationships don't just occupy physical space, they occupy mental space. They shape how you think about yourself, how you see the world, and how you trust others. Even after someone is gone, their words can echo in your head. Their criticism can still sting. Their judgment can still weigh heavy on your heart. That's why letting go isn't just about walking away. It's about untangling yourself from the narratives they planted inside you. It's about rejecting the belief that you're not enough, that you're too sensitive, that you're difficult to love. Letting go is about reclaiming your story and rewriting it on your terms. And that's hard because toxic relationships don't start toxic. They start with connection, with love, excitement, and the hope that this person will be good for you. They start with shared memories and moments that make you feel like you belong. That's why it's so difficult to leave, because you're not just walking away from the pain, you're walking away from the good times too. But here's what you have to remember. You are not responsible for holding on to a relationship just because of the good times. If the bad is outweighing the good, if you're constantly sacrificing your peace for someone else's comfort, that is not love. That is survival. And you deserve better than survival. You deserve relationships that feel safe, that feel supportive, that make you feel seen and valued. And if someone can't give you that, if they choose their ego over your well-being, if they choose control over respect, if they choose to tear you down instead of building you up, you have every right to walk away. Because love without respect is not love. Loyalty without trust is not loyalty. Staying silent to avoid conflict is not peace. It's fear disguised as harmony. And you weren't born to live in fear. You were born to live in freedom. And freedom comes with making hard decisions. It comes with standing firm even when every part of you wants to turn back. It comes with facing the discomfort of loneliness, of grief, of missing someone who wasn't good for you. Because yes, you'll miss them. You'll miss the comfort of routine. You'll miss the familiarity, even if it was toxic. You'll miss the idea of who they were or who you hope they could be. But don't confuse missing someone with needing them. Don't confuse pain with wrongness. Sometimes the most painful decisions are the ones that lead to the most powerful freedom. And in that freedom, you will find yourself again. You'll find your voice. You'll find your strength. You'll find that your intuition, the one that was silenced for so long, is still there, still guiding you. And when you start listening to it, you'll start noticing things you missed before. You'll start seeing the subtle ways you were controlled, the moments you were silenced, the ways you were convinced to shrink to make room for their comfort. And it will make you angry, it will make you sad, but it will also make you stronger. Because you'll realize how far you've come, how much you've survived, and how powerful you really are. And the more you embrace that strength, the more you'll start to rebuild. You'll rebuild your confidence piece by piece. You'll rebuild your boundaries stronger this time. You'll rebuild your trust in yourself because now you know you can rely on you. You'll rebuild your sense of peace, knowing that you're finally living life on your own terms. And yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes patience. But every day that you choose yourself, you're getting closer. Every day that you don't answer their call, that you don't send that text, that you don't second guess your decision, you are moving forward. You are healing. You are winning. And healing isn't about forgetting. It's about learning. It's about taking what that relationship taught you, not the pain, but the lessons. The lesson that you deserve respect. The lesson that your feelings are valid. The lesson that it's okay to walk away from people who refuse to treat you well. And when you learn those lessons, you become unstoppable. Because the next time someone tries to cross your boundaries, you'll see it. The next time someone tries to manipulate you, you'll recognize it. The next time someone tries to make you feel small, you'll know that you have the strength to walk away. And that's not bitterness. That's growth. But here's what you have to remember. Healing isn't linear. Some days will feel powerful. You'll feel light, free, unshaken. Then out of nowhere, the grief will hit. The memories will surface. The doubt will creep in. That doesn't mean you're back at square one. That doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It just means you're human. You cared deeply. You gave your heart to someone who didn't know how to hold it. And that hurts. But feeling that pain is part of the process. It's part of releasing. It's part of letting go. And every time you face that pain and choose not to go back, you're taking your power back. And as you take that power back, you'll start noticing something incredible. You'll start to feel lighter. You'll start to breathe easier. You'll start to dream again. Because toxic relationships don't just take your peace. They take your hope. They make you believe that joy isn't possible, that ease isn't real, that love has to be complicated and painful. But that's a lie. Real love is not supposed to hurt. Real love doesn't make you question your worth. Real love doesn't keep you up at night wondering if you're enough. And when you let go of the toxic, you make space for the real, for the love that feels easy, for the friendships that feel safe, for the peace that feels natural. And you'll start attracting those people, the ones who see you, really see you and love you without condition. The ones who respect your boundaries, who celebrate your growth, who encourage your dreams. The ones who don't make you feel like you have to earn their love by sacrificing yourself. Because that's the love you deserve. That's the love that will remind you just how worthy you've always been. And when that love comes, you'll realize just how toxic the old love really was. You'll wonder how you ever accepted so little. You'll wonder how you ever thought that was normal, and you'll be proud of yourself for walking away. And here's something even better. You'll become that person for yourself. You'll learn how to love yourself in the ways you were never loved. You'll learn how to be kind to yourself, how to stand up for yourself, how to celebrate yourself. You'll learn how to give yourself the safety and respect you were always looking for from someone else. And that kind of love, it's unshakable. Because when you know how to love yourself, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can make you question it. Nobody can use love as a weapon against you. You become whole, and you stop accepting half-hearted love from anyone else. And in that wholeness, you find freedom, you find joy, you find peace. Not because life is perfect, but because you are finally free from the weight of trying to hold on to people who were never meant to stay. You are finally free from the pain of trying to prove your worth to someone who refused to see it. You are finally free from the fear of being alone because you know now that being alone is better than being in bad company. You are finally free to choose relationships that give you life instead of ones that drain it. And here's the truth that might hit you hardest. Sometimes the most toxic relationship you have is the one with yourself. It's the voice in your head that tells you you're not enough. It's the pattern of self-sacrifice that convinces you that you have to earn love by suffering. It's the belief that you're responsible for fixing people, that if you just try harder, love harder, give more, things will change. But it's not your job to fix anyone. It's not your job to carry the weight of someone else's pain, especially when they refuse to carry it themselves. Your job is to protect your peace, to guard your energy, to honor your worth. And that starts with the way you treat yourself. Because if you don't believe you're worthy of healthy love, you'll keep attracting unhealthy love. If you believe you have to struggle to be loved, you'll keep choosing people who make you struggle. If you believe that love means losing yourself, you'll keep losing yourself over and over again until there's nothing left. That's why letting go isn't just about walking away from others. It's about walking away from the parts of you that allowed toxicity to stay. It's about looking at your own patterns, your own beliefs, and asking, why did I stay? Why did I tolerate that? Why did I believe that I deserved it? And when you get honest with yourself, when you stop running from those questions, you can finally start breaking free. It means deciding that from this moment forward, you will only accept relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and genuine care. It means refusing to settle for breadcrumbs of love when you deserve the whole feast. It means no longer explaining your worth, proving your worth, or begging for someone to value you. It means understanding that your value isn't up for negotiation. It means standing tall, holding your head high, and walking away from anything that makes you doubt your strength. Because your strength isn't measured by how much you can endure. It's measured by how willing you are to protect your peace. And yes, you'll lose people. You'll lose the ones who only loved you when you were easy to manipulate. You'll lose the ones who only stayed because you didn't have boundaries. You'll lose the ones who used your kindness as a weakness. But you'll also lose the weight of their judgment, the burden of their expectations, the constant anxiety of never knowing when the next blow would come. And when you lose that, you gain yourself. You gain clarity. You gain the space to breathe again, to dream again, to hope again. You gain the space to remember who you were before someone convinced you to shrink, because that's what toxic relationships do. They make you shrink, they make you question, they make you second guess your instincts, your decisions, your reality. You start to think, maybe it's my fault, maybe I'm too sensitive, maybe I'm expecting too much. You start to silence your voice to keep the peace, but that isn't peace. That's self-abandonment, and you cannot keep abandoning yourself just to keep someone else comfortable. You cannot keep betraying yourself just to make someone else happy, because the price you pay is too high. It's your self-esteem, your confidence, your dreams, your joy. And those things are not worth sacrificing for anyone. And you know what else you lose when you let go of toxic relationships? You lose confusion. You lose doubt. You lose the constant need to overthink every word, every action, every conversation. Because healthy relationships don't feel like that. Healthy relationships don't leave you questioning your worth. They don't leave you wondering if you're too much or not enough. They don't make you feel like love is something you have to fight for. Real love is calm, it's steady, it's consistent. It doesn't play games, it doesn't manipulate, it doesn't tear you down. And when you let go of toxicity, you make room for that kind of love. And I know letting go can feel like failure, like you're giving up, like you're abandoning someone you care about. But holding on to someone who keeps hurting you isn't loyalty, it's self-neglect. And you cannot keep neglecting yourself in the name of love, because love should build you, not break you. Love should empower you, not diminish you. Love should feel safe, not like a battlefield. And if it feels like war, if it feels like a constant fight just to be seen and valued, then it's not love. And you are allowed to walk away from anything that doesn't feel like love. You are allowed to choose peace, even if it means walking alone for a while. You are allowed to choose joy, even if it means grieving what could have been. You are allowed to choose yourself, even if it means disappointing people who benefited from your self-abandonment, because you are not here to make everyone else happy at the cost of your own soul. You are not here to prove your worth to anyone. You are not here to fix broken people who refuse to fix themselves. You are here to live fully, to love deeply, and to be free. And freedom doesn't come from holding on to what hurts you. It comes from letting go. And yes, there will be days when you miss them. Days when the memories feel heavier than the pain. Days when you question if you made the right decision, and that's okay. Missing someone doesn't mean you should go back to them. It means you're human. It means you cared deeply. It means you had hope. But hope is not enough to save a toxic relationship. Love is not enough to fix someone who isn't willing to change. And missing someone is not a sign to return to them. It's a sign to grieve, to feel, and to keep moving forward anyway. Because moving forward isn't about forgetting. It's about accepting. Accepting that you did the best you could with what you had. Accepting that some people will never be what you need them to be. Accepting that you deserve more, even if it hurts to admit it. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can release the guilt, the shame, the regret. You can stop punishing yourself for staying too long. You can stop blaming yourself for not leaving sooner. You can stop carrying the weight of someone else's choices, because their choices are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself, to your healing, your growth, your future, and your future deserves to be free. Free from the fear of not being enough, free from the weight of other people's expectations, free from the pain of relationships that only drain you. You deserve to wake up and feel light. You deserve to laugh without guilt. You deserve to dream without limits. And none of that can happen if you keep holding on to what hurts you. None of that can happen if you keep choosing to stay in places where you're not valued. None of that can happen if you keep betraying yourself just to keep someone else happy. You have to choose you. Every day, every moment. You have to choose the life you want, even if it means walking away from the life you've known. And when you choose yourself, you send a message to the world about how you deserve to be treated. You show others that your boundaries are non-negotiable. You show them that your heart is valuable, that your time is sacred, that your love is a privilege, not a right. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And if you keep accepting less, they will keep giving you less. But when you stand firm, when you say, I will not tolerate disrespect, I will not accept toxicity, I will not settle for half-hearted love, the wrong people will leave and the right ones will stay. And the right people, they won't make you question your worth. They won't make you feel small. They won't punish you for setting boundaries. They will honor your strength. They will celebrate your growth. They will love you for exactly who you are, not for who you shrink yourself to be. And that kind of love, that is worth waiting for. That is worth letting go for. That is worth walking through the pain for. Because when you finally get there, when you finally experience love that feels safe, that feels kind, that feels true, you'll realize that every step of letting go was worth it. Every tear, every doubt, every moment of loneliness was worth it. And when you reach that place, when you've shed the weight of toxic relationships, you don't just find peace, you find power. The power that comes from knowing you made it through. The power that comes from realizing you didn't need their validation to survive. The power that comes from standing on your own, feeling grounded in who you are. You'll look back and wonder why you stayed as long as you did, why you doubted your strength, why you believed you had to carry that burden alone. But you'll also understand that every moment you endured, every tear you shed, every battle you fought brought you to this place. This place where you know what you will never tolerate again. This place where you know how it feels to protect your own heart. This place where you know that peace is not something you stumble upon, it's something you choose. And that's the secret to letting go. It's not one big decision, it's 1,000 small ones. It's choosing every day not to call, not to text, not to reach out for one more chance. It's choosing every day to remind yourself why you left, to remember the nights you cried, to recall the moments when you question your own worth. It's choosing every day to sit with the discomfort instead of numbing it, to sit with the loneliness instead of running back to what hurt you. It's choosing every day to remind yourself that you deserve more. That's how you let go. That's how you heal. That's how you reclaim yourself. And every time you choose you get stronger. Every time you resist the urge to go back, you build trust with yourself. Every time you protect your peace, you prove to yourself that you are worthy of it. Because healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning from it. It's about seeing the patterns for what they were, understanding the lessons, and carrying them forward. It's about realizing that the pain you went through doesn't define you, but it can shape you. It can shape you into someone who's more resilient, more self-aware, more confident in their worth. It can shape you into someone who knows how to choose themselves, even when it hurts. And that's when you start to feel free. Not overnight, but slowly, quietly, steadily, you start to notice the absence of anxiety, the absence of walking on eggshells, the absence of second guessing every word, every action. And in that absence, you find space. Space to think clearly, space to feel deeply, space to breathe, space to create new memories that aren't weighed down by fear. And that space is sacred. That space is where your new life begins. The life that isn't defined by pain, but by possibility. The life that isn't shaped by someone else's expectations, but by your own desires. A life where you don't just survive, you thrive. Because thriving isn't about pretending the pain never happened. It's about rising from it. It's about knowing that you faced the worst and you didn't let it break you. It's about standing in your power and knowing that you are stronger than the stories that tried to define you. It's about realizing that you are not broken, even if you were hurt. You are not damaged, even if you were scarred. You are not unworthy, even if someone made you feel that way. You are whole, you are worthy, you are enough. And you don't need anyone else to prove that to you. You don't need anyone else to validate it. You just need to believe it for yourself. And believing it for yourself means setting boundaries that protect your heart. It means saying no, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means walking away, even when it feels lonely. It means standing your ground, even when it feels easier to give in, because every time you hold that boundary, you reinforce your worth. Every time you refuse to go back, you reinforce your strength. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you reinforce your power. And that's how you build a life that feels good. That's how you build relationships that feel safe. That's how you create a future that isn't rooted in survival, but in joy. And when you start living in that joy, you'll realize just how much energy you wasted trying to hold on to people who were never meant to stay. You'll realize how much time you spent trying to explain yourself, trying to be understood by people who never wanted to understand you. You'll realize how much of yourself you gave away in the name of love, only to find out that love should never cost you your self-worth. And when you realize that, it's not about regret, it's about relief. Relief that you finally chose to stop. Relief that you finally chose to let go. Relief that you finally chose to choose yourself. And choosing yourself is the most powerful thing you will ever do, because it means you've stopped waiting for someone else to save you. It means you've stopped hoping for someone else to change. It means you've stopped believing that you have to be less to be loved. It means you've decided that your peace, your joy, your life is worth fighting for. And it is. It always has been. You were always worth fighting for. You were always worth loving deeply and fully and without condition. And anyone who couldn't see that, anyone who couldn't honor that, didn't deserve to stay. And that's not your loss, that's theirs. Because the moment you let go of what doesn't serve you, you make space for what does. You make space for relationships that feel light, for love that feels true, for friendships that feel safe. You make space for the dreams you put on hold. You make space for the goals you silenced. You make space for the life you were meant to live, a life that isn't defined by fear, but by freedom, a life that isn't controlled by pain, but by possibility, a life where you don't just exist, you thrive. You shine, you rise, and the people who belong in that life will find you, they'll meet you in that space, they'll love you there exactly as you are. And you will love yourself there too. You'll love the person who chose to walk away even when it hurt. You'll love the person who decided that enough was enough. You'll love the person who stood up and said, I deserve more. You'll love the person who survived the loss and still chose to move forward. You'll love the person who stopped chasing love and started creating it within themselves. You'll love the person who learned how to let go, not because they were cold or heartless, but because they were brave enough to believe they deserved better. That is the person you become when you let go. That is the person you meet on the other side of pain. That is the person who will carry you into the next chapter of your life. And that next chapter, it's yours to write. It's yours to shape. It's yours to define. And it starts with one choice. The choice to let go. The choice to believe that you deserve more. The choice to walk away even when it's hard. The choice to trust that what's ahead is better than what you're leaving behind. Because it is. It always is. When you choose yourself, when you choose peace, when you choose freedom, you choose the kind of life that allows you to breathe again, to laugh again, to love again. And that is the life you were meant to live. That is the life that is waiting for you. So here's the truth. The hardest part of letting go is believing that you deserve to. It's believing that you are worthy of peace, worthy of love that doesn't hurt, worthy of a life that feels light and free. And you are. You always have been. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength, it's bravery. It's choosing to stop fighting for people who wouldn't fight for you. It's choosing to stop carrying relationships that only weighed you down. It's choosing to walk away from what breaks you so you can walk toward what builds you. And yes, it's painful. Yes, it's messy. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's also powerful. It's also freeing. It's also the first step toward a life where you are no longer defined by the people who couldn't love you the way you deserve. Letting go is how you reclaim yourself. It's how you create space for joy, for love that lifts you, for friendships that feel safe, for dreams that once felt out of reach. So if you're standing at the edge, wondering if it's time, wondering if you're strong enough, wondering if you'll survive the letting go, know this: you will. You will survive. You will rebuild. And on the other side of this pain is a version of you that is lighter, stronger, freer than you've ever known. And that version of you, they're waiting, they're ready. All you have to do is let go.